This is your Tuesday devotion, and Ecclesiastes has so much wisdom, and Proverbs has so much wisdom. It's hard not to be in those two books on a regular basis. In Ecclesiastes 9, beginning at verse 16, running through verse 18, wisdom is better than strength, but wisdom of the poor man is despised, and his words are not heeded. The words of the wise are heard in quietness, are better than the shouting of a ruler among fools. Wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroys much good. Boy, those three verses are incredible. Wisdom is better than strength. That's true, isn't it? Use your head and you don't have to strain your back. Use your head, you don't have to hurt your knees. Use your head and you can save a lot of work. Then listen to the second part of verse 16. But wisdom of the poor man is despised, and his words are not heeded. Somehow we think just because somebody doesn't have a lot of material blessings, their words are not worth anything. I gotta tell you, some of the greatest words that have ever been spoken to me were spoken to me by people that didn't have a lot of material possessions. It's a shame that the words of the poor man are despised. Then listen to verse 17. The words of the wise heard in quietness are better than shouting of a ruler among fools. I told my wife last night, after I preached and after I taught a session on financial management, you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. As a matter of fact, it was demonstrated that even when you announce that you're going to share quietly the words of wisdom about finances, most of the time the very ones that need it the most don't show up to even hear the words. I know there were a lot of reasons why it wasn't promoted well. We didn't provide a nursery and all of those kinds of things. But what a shame that more people didn't hear some very great words of wisdom. Now, that's not a prideful thing, because what I shared were things that I was taught by some of the best corporations in the world and consulting firms that gave them those principles. The principles that might save them as much as $200 or $300 per month on their current bills were shared, and quietly in a small setting with lots of opportunity for questions and answers. It's a shame, isn't it? And yet I turn right around and say, just the day before, I had a group of ladies who asked for some wisdom, which I believe I shared. And I think they were blessed, and so was I. So we know that it's a true saying. The words of wise heard in quietness are better than the shouting of rulers amongst fools. And then finally the last verse, wisdom is better than weapons of war, but one sinner destroys much good. There's no question, many times words are better than war and better than the weapons of war. How many battles could be avoided with words? Words spoken in wisdom. I know the battles are unavoidable sometimes, but sometimes a few words can provide no battle. And then finally, the one sinner destroys much good. Words spoken by a sinner very often can entice, provoke, and create tremendous battles and war. Ecclesiastes, 3 verses, say so much about wisdom, so much about those that hear them, those that apply them, those that learn from them, and even a word of caution to those that speak them. Don't holler and shout. Speak them softly. Those that really are listening will hear you without raising your voice. And those that really care to make a change, those that really care to try to do better, will listen. They'll come and they'll benefit. That's your thought for the day. God bless you and have a great day.